Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be back and I can't wait to be out on court and I hope to see you there.
Alex Eala has arrived in Birmingham, and Filipino fans are already taking over the UK before Wimbledon has even started. 96 hours after she walked off court Suzanne Lenglen in tears, the 20-year-old from Manila landed on British soil as the number 2 seed at the Lexus Birmingham Open. And the flags were already there to meet her. Red, white, blue with a single golden sun, waiting at Edgbaston Priory Club a full month before the gates of SW19 swing open. What is happening in the United Kingdom right now is not a coincidence. It is the dress rehearsal for the loudest Wimbledon in modern memory. 4 days ago, on May 26, 2026, Eala lost her French Open first round to her close friend Iva Jovic, 4-6, 2-6.
Eva is such a good friend of mine. We competing against each other as competitors, I think we're very accustomed to it.
Hours later, she posted to her 16 million combined followers a single line. First Grand Slam main draw in the books. Back to the drawing board for now, but we'll come back stronger next time. See you for the grass. She did not fly home. She did not disappear. She boarded a plane to England because Birmingham is not a celebration. Birmingham is an ambush waiting to happen. Eala arrives in the UK carrying 2 weights that nobody outside her camp is talking about. The first is emotional. She just lost the biggest match of her career to one of her closest friends on tour, the same friend who posted, "One of those days, I wish there could be 2 winners," alongside a hug photo that has already gone viral. The second weight is mathematical. Eala is defending 219 grass court ranking points from her 2025 swing, Birmingham, Ilkley, Nottingham, and that historic Eastbourne final where she saved 4 championship points before losing the tiebreak. Every single point she fails to replicate over the next 4 weeks is a point she loses on her ranking. No other player in the Birmingham draw is defending more, and while she carries that quiet pressure into her opening match, reportedly a rematch against Linda Fruhvirtova, the same player who knocked her out of Birmingham in 3 sets last year, the Filipino diaspora in the United Kingdom is doing something the WTA has never had to plan for. Start with the seeding. 1 year ago in Birmingham, Eala was unseeded. She lost in the round of 32 and flew out without a headline. This year, the LTA has built its entire tournament marketing around her face. Number 2 seed, behind only Indonesia's Janice Chen. The Birmingham Mail is calling her the breakout name of the grass swing. That is the difference 12 months makes when the world finally catches up. But seeding does not move people across continents. The crowd does. At the 2026 Italian Open in Rome, veteran Filipino sports journalist Dion Castillejo reported from inside the venue that Filipino fans flew in from London, from Germany, from Malta, specifically to watch a 20-year-old play a clay court match. By the end of the week, Italian spectators in the stands were picking up the chants themselves. "Come on, Alex!" in Italian accents, in Rome. Now apply the geography. The United Kingdom holds the largest concentrated Filipino population in Western Europe. Birmingham is a 2-hour train ride from London. If Filipinos flew from Malta to Rome, what do you think they are doing when the tournament is in their own backyard? This is the pattern repeating itself. First Melbourne, then Indian Wells, then Rome, now the West Midlands. The Eala traveling fan base is no longer a curiosity. It is an organized international movement, and every tournament director on the calendar has been forced to recalculate. And that recalculation is where the conversation gets dangerous for the old guard. According to UK-based WTA analysis outlet Chalk Dust Media, tournament directors and industry observers have reportedly begun comparing Eala's crowd-drawing power to that of Manny Pacquiao, the only Filipino athlete in modern history whose name alone could fill an arena. Her practice sessions in Dubai, Doha, and Melbourne have drawn longer queues than some scheduled top 10 matches. At the 2026 Australian Open, Organizers underestimated her demand so badly that fans were turned away from her outer court assignments. A number 37 in the world is generating top 10 logistics. That is not a ranking story, that is a market story. And every fan who has been screaming her name since she was a teenager at the Rafa Nadal Academy already knew the rest of the sport would have to catch up. They are just watching it happen in real time. Inside the locker room, the players are not pretending they cannot hear it. Colombian star Camila Osorio publicly compared the Filipino fan base to the Colombian crowd, one of the loudest, most emotionally charged supporter cultures in all of women's tennis. Donna Vekic reportedly described the Filipino support as the best on tour, the kind of energy that pushes opponents to their absolute limits. When other players start naming your fans have stopped being background noise. They have become a competitive variable. This is where Chalk Dust Media's framing carries the most weight. Chalk Dust is a UK-based dedicated WTA media outlet co-founded by Katie, a Wimbledon Village native and a longtime tennis insider whose work has been cited across British tennis coverage this year. She lives and breathes the SW19 ecosystem, and in her published piece titled The Eala Effect, she draws two parallels that nobody in mainstream tennis media had the courage to draw first. The first parallel is to Pacquiao, the commercial gravity comparison. The second is structural and arguably more important. Chalk Dust frames Eala as opening the ASEAN market the way Lina opened China. For 20 years, the WTA chased the next Lina as the holy grail of Asian expansion. Now an entire region of 670 million people, the Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, is being unlocked by a player who has not yet won a WTA Tour-level title. When a UK analyst writing from the doorstep of Wimbledon tells you Eala is the structural event women's tennis has been waiting 2 decades for, that is not hype. That is a thesis the British press is preparing to test in real time over the next 30 days. The institutional response is already visible if you know where to look. The WTA has reportedly had to clarify that the Filipino crowd's between-point cheering and mid-match chanting is not banned, a statement that became necessary because the energy was disrupting traditional tennis decorum so consistently that someone had to ask. That is not a rule clarification, that is an institutional acknowledgement that the culture of women's tennis is being rewritten match by match. Now look at the runway ahead. Birmingham runs June 1st through June 7th. Eastbourne follows in mid-June, where Eala will defend her historic finalist points against the loudest expectations of her career. And then Wimbledon late June into early July, where she is locked into the main draw as a direct entrant. No qualifying required. The first time a Filipina has ever walked into the All England Club's championship draw on her ranking alone. Metro Magazine has already issued a public call to Filipinos across the United Kingdom to converge on SW19 for her opening match. The Birmingham crowd is the rehearsal, Eastbourne is the sound check, Wimbledon is the show, and if Eala makes a deep run in any of the three, the WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open returns to the calendar. Philippine conglomerate sponsorship money floods the women's tour, and the geography of professional tennis shifts for a generation. None of this erases what happened in Paris. Eala lost in the first round of a Grand Slam to a friend who hugged her at the net and posted a tribute hours later. That is a specific kind of pain, the pain of celebrating someone else's win while still carrying your own scoreline. Her Instagram caption that night did not ask for sympathy. It did not list excuses. 11 words and one promise: see you for the grass. 4 days later, she was in Birmingham, practicing on Edgbaston's lawns, smiling for the Filipino kids who had already found out which court she was on. Think about the 96 hours she just lived through. Paris heartbreak on Tuesday, a friend's victory hug, a flight across the English Channel, a new tournament, a familiar opponent waiting, a defending point burden no other seed in the draw is carrying, and flags from her country already lining the practice courts of a city she has never headlined before. This is what fan validation looks like in real time. Every Filipino who screamed her name when she was a teenager, nobody outside the Nadal Academy had heard of. Every fan who flew from Malta to Rome, from Sydney to Melbourne, from Manchester to Birmingham, was reading the trajectory before the analysts wrote it down. The Pacquiao comparison did not invent the Eala effect. It just gave it a name the tennis establishment could no longer ignore. So here's the question, and it is a real one. If Alex Eala reaches the Birmingham final or wins the title outright, does Wimbledon become the loudest tennis tournament in modern history? Drop your prediction in the comments. Birmingham final, Eastbourne semi-final, Wimbledon round of 16. Stake your claim now, because 4 weeks from now, we will be reading the names of everyone who called it first. If you are part of the community that saw this coming before the seeding chart caught up, subscribe and stay with us. This channel is built for the people tracking every chant, every flag, every locker room reaction the mainstream coverage misses. Birmingham is day one of a 30-day British takeover, and we are documenting every match, every crowd shot, every Tagalog headline from now until the Wimbledon trophy ceremony. Pull up a seat. The flags are already up.